Every other time, we're back.
Hey.
We got Kamoni Simon, DJ Sai in the building. How you
Yes,
doing
sir.
today, brother?
I'm
Talk to
blessed,
me.
man. I can't complain.
Look, today is all about you, all
Okay.
right? Today, we have you on a timeshare.
Yeah.
This is the one and only podcast where people are coming to be reinforced and inspiration to get out there and chase their dreams like you have yourself.
Indeed.
So if you just want to go ahead, introduce yourself, tell the people a little about yourself, what you do, crafts you got going on.
I got you. All right. So, again, my name is Kamoni Simon, a.k.a. DJ Simon, and I am a DJ, entrepreneur, and a teacher. You know, I do a lot. I work for a nonprofit called NSEG, or the National Collegiate Entertainers Group, in which we teach young college students how to navigate through the music industry. And, yeah, man, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
Hey, man, that sounded great. So the music industry can be very diverse, but at the same time, a lot of people have a problem with looking at it.
Indeed.
And just seeing like kind of the same or thinking that, you know, when people say that they're involved in music, they're all doing the same thing.
Right.
But you're a DJ specifically.
Yes.
We met through, DJ Kid Cream. So what's your relationship to Kid Cream?
So he's actually in PEG, which is one of the chapters of NSEG. So basically what NSEG is in a nutshell is like I said previously, we teach college students how to navigate through the music industry through various platforms. So we teach them through panels, we have workshops, and then we have different chapters around different colleges. So we have one in Kennesaw State.
Okay.
We're working on some at the AUC right now, and also in Emory, and basically solidifying it to where students can learn how to what's the word I'm looking for? Market themselves better, learn how to get their royalties or licensing through music, or whether they want to approach it through being a artist or being a DJ or even a manager, you know? So we provide the tools for them to learn how to do that. But we also provide competitions to essentially get the cream of the crop when it comes to students, and basically create the NCAA of the entertainment realm for college students, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so you just touched on a lot of things.
Yeah, I
man.
know.
So you're a teacher, but you're also a DJ with a career. And
Yes.
so that's where you have the experience to teach them. How long have you been
Exactly.
DJing specifically yourself?
I've been DJing for 6-7 years now, since 2012.
2012.
2012, yeah.
So let's say I'm a student, right?
Right.
And I'm inspired that I want to challenge music. I want to become a DJ. What would be the first thing that you would look into doing for a new person who's up and coming?
Okay, so I would have to see that spark. So I also work at Guitar Center part-time, so I'm constantly networking and, especially meeting people who want to get into the DJing realm often. So it's often seeing that spark within them and seeing if that is truly something that they want to pursue, because I remember my first time when I wanted to get into it, and it was so engrossed in my brain that I just had to do it day in, day out,
It was like an addiction,
this is
a healthy addiction.
Yeah, very much so. And I do whatever I can to help them get their feet wet into it, So everything that I wish I would have been taught, I teach to other people who want to get started as far as DJing goes, getting the proper music selection, how to go about doing contracts in business, what's the word? Equipment that you need, the whole nine. And then I'll even give them some of my music to help get them started,
Wow, it's very interesting that you mentioned the spark, because a lot of people think that every field in life is something they can pursue. And don't get me wrong, anybody can do anything in this world.
Right.
But it's very interesting when a person right off the bat has a spark,
Yeah.
like you mentioned. So when you talk about a spark, are you talking about a drive, an interest, or like a natural skill set that you see can be grown upon?
Honestly, it's a little bit of both. You have to have, I wouldn't say you have to have, but you have to have that passion within it. And oftentimes when I meet people, I'm very good at like reading vibes and energy, right off the bat. And it's a certain feeling that I get, that genuine feel for wanting to learn more about something. That's what I'm attracted to, and that's what makes me feel good about what I'm doing, giving back to these people and giving back to the students, however I can,
Wow. See, we mentioned that actually on the last episode where we talked about people can see or people can notice when you're passionate about
Yes.
something. whether you're doing a podcast like right now, whether you're being a DJ, whether you're involved in a business deal, when you're passionate, it shows.
Indeed.
So you teach students, you look for sparks. As far as the business goes, I don't want to, jump the gun too much, but how soon into the music industry do you guys address the business aspect?
Oh, right off the bat, man.
So it's right off the bat,
right
no
off
matter
the bat.
the skill set?
No matter the skill set.
Okay, so how does that go?
Okay.
As far as business, like how do gigs go in the music industry from your experience?
From my experience, okay, so personally, when I first got started, it's funny, I was DJing for free at parties for a lot of different people, and one of my friends in college, actually, I DJ'd, partied for him, and I ended up DJing with one of my close friends and partners to this day, DJ Shadow, and he's the one who helped put me in touch with an entertainment company who helped teach me how to do live engineering and how to further, do business dealings as far as DJing. So that helped me get my start. So I was DJing at places at like they're probably not even around anymore. Front Row, DJing at jazz clubs, and Crab Spot, if you're familiar with that.
Crab Spot.
Or Coaxums. Yeah, they hosted V103 there for some time.
Well, what area was that?
This was in, I don't want to say Chambly. It's Dorville off of Peachtree Industrial.
Oh,
the
so
140,
still Metro
141.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Style area?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay, see, it's very interesting because you're talking about the business aspect
Right.
right off the bat, but then you said that you were doing shows for free.
For
You're
free. Oh, yeah. You got to grind it out, man.
So
you definitely got to grind it out.
Would you say that's a big part that a lot of people are missing nowadays, is the dedication that it is required in the beginning?
Oh, yeah. Trust me. Like, it by no means, I mean, if you get lucky and just start getting paid right off the bat because your skills are that good, all the more to you. You're rocking, keep doing it. But a lot of people have to, like, start from ground zero and work their way up. For me, I was DJing for free until I got with that company, and then I was DJing for about like $50 a night. Okay. And, that was it, just getting my feet wet. And I was happy with that. I'm like, I'm getting paid to DJ. Like, this is awesome,
right.
And then eventually, as my skills progressed and I started getting more of my own equipment and networking from the events that I was doing, I started doing parties outside of that, or even doing parties for my partner, DJ Shadow at the time. And I was getting paid, $100 to do a show, $150 here. And, eventually it just started progressing to where now I can make my own prices for certain things, So I'm just blessed to be able to do that. And it also helped me springboard into not just DJing, parties or, local events. Now I'm doing corporate gigs. I'm doing weddings.
Wow.
I'm doing, I've done stuff for Boost Mobile. And if everything goes well, I may be doing my first festival tomorrow. So,
wow,
yeah.
What festival?
Milk and Cookies.
That's exciting,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Wow, so how did that happen? See, I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
something else, but right when you said that, things got really interesting.
Yeah, man. So, so it's not just me. My family's like really, like, I don't want to say well-versed. What's the word I'm looking for? My family's really deep into the entertainment business. It's kind of like in our blood. So my cousin is an engineer. She engineered for a lot of people, some famous people that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But there's that. My cousin's actually another one of my cousin, Nigel Uno. He manages artists that's signed to Interscope right now for a management company, 1865. Yeah. And then my other cousin, he's a photographer who done work for like Sway Lee and Rick Ross and whatnot. And what else? And then there's me, and I'm out here DJing. I'm actually the one who helped put a couple artists in touch with them that's helping them get, their platform right now. So
you don't, from what I'm getting, you don't, what's the word I'm looking for? You embrace competition. You feel like there's room for everybody to grow.
Oh yeah, no, there's more than enough for everybody to eat, and that's why I do this for love, because my philosophy is that the more that you give, the more that you receive, So I try to give as much as of myself to the world, not burning myself out in that point, but try to give as much as myself, to reciprocate that back into the universe. I'm a big fan of like karma, man. Like, it's absolutely real. But once you provide that energy for people and they see that as genuine, things tend to take off for everybody in the long run.
It's interesting that you mentioned karma. I was having a conversation earlier today with somebody.
Yeah.
We were breaking down karma, but we were breaking it down in two different paths, right?
Yeah.
So we were looking at it from the perspective of a person with good intention,
Yeah.
but they are doing bad, versus a person who's doing good with bad intention. And we were almost looking at it as like, if a person is stealing, for example, because they're starving,
Right.
or they're stealing because, you know, they're just trying to come up quick, right? It's like, is that really viewed the same, and would karma apply the same? And I know it's really off topic, but how do you feel about that?
That one's a little bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, a lot of people are out here trying to do what they have to do in order to survive. But I mean, if you're doing it out of spite, I feel like that energy will definitely perpetuate itself later on down the road, you know? So I believe it's the type of energy that you're going for out of certain situations rather than the action itself.
Okay. Have you like found that like present in the music industry? Have you like collaborated with people that you could tell were just spiteful? They're just trying to get their best interest and go?
I have, but I try my best to stay away from people like that, you know, because there's nothing good that's to come out of it, you know? So, damn, let me see. That reminds me of, actually, I don't even want to put her out there, but there was a woman that was a singer, and she was looking to essentially get recording for free and whatnot, and we thought she was cool at first, but the vibes just wasn't right when we were in the studio, and you know, it became a hassle or draining in order to work with that person. And I love music with all my heart, and whenever it starts to feel like a job is when I start to like pull away from you know, certain people or certain things, you know. So unless it's for like a higher purpose, I really don't push myself unless, you know, the energy is right. Yeah.
See, that's the thing is that like people don't understand how real that statement is. Like, for example, we're here right now and we're talking,
Right.
and you know, this is being recorded. Who knows who's watching this?
Right.
Who knows who cares? But we're having this conversation. You feel me, I feel you, and I get what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people skip over that when they're planning out their career, when they're planning out their music path or their, you know, sports career or whatever it is. They just think that they're gonna be at the right place at the right time, and that things are just gonna happen.
Right.
But they don't realize that everything takes human interaction.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Back to what we were saying, you got to have good intent, right? So that was a little sidetrack, but going back to the festival, so you primarily got plugged in through your family, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you say that's kind of a result of your doing good, came back around, and now you got a pretty big gig?
Oh yeah. I mean, and also you gotta it takes work to, you know, get to that position. Like, I mean, just because it's my family, like he don't play at all. Like, just because that family, he's not just gonna toss it to me just because, you know, we're family.
Course, yeah.
Like I've worked really hard for the position that I've came up to right now, and it's definitely paying off. Like, I'm getting like recognized in public a whole lot more, and it's kind of mind-boggling that's happening, you know? Wow. So, yeah, I have real fans now, you know? So that helps me, that lets me know that I'm doing something right, and that I should continue pursuing what I'm doing. You know?
And people are noticing it.
Yeah.
And it speaks through your music.
Definitely.
Do you produce beats by any chance, or is it just live?
No, I do. I produce also. I'm also an artist, but I haven't put out anything yet. I'm actually working on an EP as we speak. And I'm putting out more mixes. So generally right now, everything that I wouldn't say everything I do, but most of what I do right now is word of mouth. And if I promote myself more with when I promote myself more with my marketing, I already know that it's going to take me to another level, but it's just finding that piece for me, because I'm a very busy person. So it's hard for me to manage that aspect also.
So the word of mouth has like filled in the foundation, and you know that the second, you know, you put any time into the marketing, it's going to skyrocket.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, we're here because of word of mouth. Because DJ Kid Cream, shout out Kid Cream.
Right.
See, when I was talking to Kid Cream, speaking of him, he was talking about how a big step in DJing that a lot of people overlook is the fundamentals. Fundamentals.
Yeah,
fundamentals.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how everything really went downhill with the invention of the sync button.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little something about the sync button, man.
Okay, I mean, so don't get me wrong, the sync button, it's a nice feature, but it does baby a lot of people. As far as when it comes to DJing, because as one thing that my mentor taught me is that DJs are masters of timing. You know, so if you have a machine that's doing the timing for you, then you're literally like, you have training wheels on, you know? So I use it, you know, to a degree, but I like to listen for it, you know, wait for the moment is just right to catch another song or to scratch, or it's everything is again all about timing. So I'm grateful for my mentor to teach me about that. Speaking of which, shout out DJ Rosteru. He's actually the DJ for a very popular group called A Tribe Called Quest, if you're familiar with them.
Quest.
Yeah.
See, I want to say I know them, but I almost feel like I'm confusing them with they're a group?
Yeah, they're
three
a group.
People?
Five Dog, Ali, Q-Tip.
It is 3 people.
Yeah,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, man, they were like phenomenal. Electric Relaxation is one of like their most popular songs. I'm pretty sure when you hear it, you know.
My God.
Relax yourself,
I know exactly
relax
what you're
yourself.
talking about. Wow.
Yeah, so shout out to him. He actually helped out a lot when I first started DJing. He gave us I was in a EDM group at the time when I first started DJing. We didn't have a DJ at the time, so I filled that role. And then eventually one of our members ended up meeting him at a Vans event that he was doing, and he introduced us to him, and everything was just like copacetic then, so the vibe was just there. So I'm forever appreciative of him. Shout out DJ Rosteru. But yeah, man, it's just building that foundation of networking with other people is just crucial in order for you to build your career,
See, that's exactly what people are coming here to hear, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming to be inspired to get out there and chase their dream, whatever it may be. Networking is a very big part of that dream, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Every single step is going to require human interaction. So a lot of people aren't understanding that.
Right.
But, I'm glad that you brought that up, because you're talking about how, you met your mentor, DJ, just through networking at a festival. You said it was EDM?
No, I was doing EDM at the time, and my buddy met him at a Vans event.
A Vans event?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it wasn't at the festival?
It wasn't at a festival, yeah.
Oh, I was at Imagine
You was
a
at
couple
Imagine
months
Fest?
ago. Yeah, and they had a bunch of little booths.
Nice.
Yeah, they had a bunch of like, Juul had a booth. Views e-cigarette had a booth.
Yeah.
Just a bunch. I don't know if Vans had a booth. I want to say there was a shoe company there. I don't think there was.
I got you.
So do you do the EDM scene? Or is that kind of like where it started?
That's where it started.
Okay.
And then, I've always had like a love for hip hop, growing up with it and whatnot. So I just, continued on with that and just doing parties. And my parents are actually from the island. So, I had that background as far as mixing that into my music also. So doing a lot of reggae, dancehall, soca, mixing it with hip hop or pop, and I have a very international feel when it comes to my music. So I'm able to play essentially for anybody, especially Latin parties. I love Latin parties,
Latin people can dance.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a couple of those.
Oh, yeah,
I
man.
did not fit in, but I was there.
It's all good. Yeah, man.
All right. So with the DJing itself, right, is it primarily about knowing where you're trying to take the music? Or is it about knowing, or not knowing, but feeling out the crowd as what they want? Do you test things out? And then, what I'm trying to say is, do you have a set? Do you go into, okay, this is a Latin group, this is a Jamaican group, this is a wedding.
Yeah.
Do you have sets? Or is it kind of like you throw a couple in there, you feel it out, and you rock from there?
Honestly, it's a little bit of both, man. So what I tend to do is, I would ask my clients before, what is it, the type of music that you guys want, what artists that you guys want. And then once I have a base feel for that, or they send me a list of songs, then I'm able to go off of that. And then I would push it a little bit, playing some music that's a little bit outside their comfort zone. And then if it works, then I'll run with it, and then that's how I make sure they have a good time, So just providing the unexpected is what takes me far as my career, with networking and building my brand.
So you like to provide the unexpected, but how do you feel about embracing the unexpected?
You have to, as a DJ, everything, oh man, anything can happen. I would say that, at one point I was doing was it a barn wedding, I think. And then, they, of course, they wanted a lot of soft rock, 80s rock, country. And then out of the blue, they just wanted a lot of hardcore hip hop, and I was like, "Yo, where did this come from?" So I played it for them, and they had an amazing time. So that's one of my favorite clients that I have to this day. They still call me for gigs. Wow. So yeah.
Do you think the progression of alcohol intake was a part of that?
That definitely helped. That definitely played a role, but that is just when you find that piece that people want to explore, and you help them what's the word, explore it, then giving that to them is like the best thing in the world, because as the DJ you control the energy in the room, so
Literally.
yeah, so it just feels good to be able to provide my services in that aspect, so
Oh.
yeah,
That's nice, man.
Yeah, man.
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Provide my services in that
of
aspect.
course, man. I mean, it's music is beyond just money or a business to me. It's my purpose in life. I tried running from it at one point in my life, but it did not work. Like it's funny, I used to say this all the time, but when I stopped producing for a while, the sounds would literally like haunt me in my mind,
Like as you're trying to sleep?
Yeah, as I'm trying to sleep, because I would try to go to sleep, but I would literally hear music playing in my head that I want to get out, So I had to like flesh it out in some sort of way, whether it be writing or producing or, anything of that mean. So that's how I know that I live for this, literally.
It's like an itch.
Yeah.
You gotta have
literally,
your fix.
yeah. I have to, So, yeah.
Wow, man. I'm glad to see that you're passionate about it, because I can only imagine what the work is like.
Right.
I remember when we met, you and Kid Cream, you guys were talking about an event that was coming up. There was a DJ competition.
Yes.
How did that go?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. Shout out to Kid Cream for being in the competition, man. You definitely rocked it. I wish you could have won, man, but keep on going strong. Yeah, man. I
Have you been to those?
I have not.
Oh, you have not?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean, like I said, I'm so busy, man, that it's hard for me to get to every event, and I wish I could to show support to everybody that I can, but I got a lot of my own business that I got going on. So, I try to make it out to as many events as I can for other people, because I love showing support, and that's a big thing that a lot of people need to take to, especially in the music industry, man. Showing love goes a long way, because people will remember you for that, and it'll make them more fond of working with you, and you never know what could come out of that, So always treat people with respect, and always provide a good energy or atmosphere when you first meet them, or doing anything with them, because you never know where anybody's gonna go,
Oh, yeah,
So
especially.
humble beginnings. Everybody start from humble beginnings, but you never know where they end up. So yeah, man. Yeah.
So the music, it started off as a passion project.
Mm-hmm.
You got into the fundamentals. You had a mentor,
Yeah.
and you've progressed. Now you're teaching people. You're working at Guitar Center.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember you mentioned to me when we first met that you were also involved in real estate.
I am indeed. Yeah. So
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So I got into real estate about a year. Let's see, it's been a year and a month now. No, a year and like 2 months now. And the reason why I got on so heavily into it is because at the time, me and my family, we were living in a house. We were renting it for several years, but the homeowner needed to sell the house, and at the time we weren't ready to move. So unfortunately, we had to scramble to find another place to live. And I did not enjoy that feeling at all, man. And I was already looking for something to learn and to invest my money back into, because I'm very, very big when it comes to financial literacy and understanding how money works, and I wanted to approach it from that aspect, because, having to leave a house where I built a lot of my, myself and my memories and everything, just to, being thrown into the world, I didn't like that feeling, so I took it upon myself to learn how that industry works in order to not only help grow wealth for myself and for my family, but to help empower others on the options that are out there in order for them to build wealth for themselves. And 90% of millionaires make their wealth through real estate. So yeah.
So when we're talking real estate, are we talking about like wholesaling? Are we talking about being a realtor? What aspect of real estate do you deal with? Do you sell homes?
So no, I'm in the investment. So yeah, so wholesaling, essentially diving into creative financing in that sense, like doing subject to deals, or
What's a subject to deal?
So subject to is essentially
Wait, is there a subject one?
No.
Oh.
Subject to means subject
Subject
to the mortgage. Mortgage.
All right.
Essentially, you're taking over a mortgage for a house for somebody that can't pay off the mortgage, and then you would then sell that contract to another investor. So that's another way that you can buy a house. Instead of buying a house outright, you can buy a house from another person subject to, and you essentially have them on the mortgage, but you take ownership of the house. So you'll have the title, but the mortgage is still in their name, which is, good.
Kind of what you want.
Yeah,
So wait a minute. Whoa. So if you stop paying, it's not your responsibility?
So, I mean, if you stop paying, then the house would go back to the original owner. That's
Okay.
in the documents. Typically, it depends on what you guys work out, but that's how it typically works out. But I mean, I could like dive really deep into it, man.
This is the space, man.
Okay.
This is where it's meant to be.
Okay.
People are coming here to they want to be inspired, but they want
Right.
ideas too, and they want the juice.
I got you.
They want the juice.
Yeah, man. So
give us the juice.
the juice. So there's so much to real estate investing that I can touch on, man. That it's crazy. There's so many ways that you can make money if you have the time. Then you can definitely make money in it. Wholesaling is definitely good for people who don't have a lot of money to provide into real estate. Or you don't need money nor credit in order to do it. But if you have the time, you could definitely make money in it, man. So, for those who aren't knowledgeable or don't know about wholesaling, essentially what you're doing is you're getting contracts of houses for people with distressed homes who aren't able to pay off on the homes. You essentially go to them, say that you would buy their house at a discounted rate, but you're able to close on it quickly for them, and that's pretty much your service. And then you would turn around, take that contract, and sell it to another investor for a little bit higher price, and you make what's in between. So essentially, you're like the middleman, in that transaction, and you're not necessarily doing it as a real estate agent, which you need to be licensed. So this is a way that you can work on in real estate without being licensed, but you do have to be knowledgeable on what you're doing, because again, you are playing with people's lives when you're working in real estate. So
literally,
yeah, it's very important that you understand what you're doing.
So this is something that comes to my mind when I hear that.
Yeah,
I know it's probably coming to a lot of other people's minds.
mm-hmm.
How does the person that's buying so I take a contract,
Yeah,
and I'm going to turn it around and sell it. What's my strategy to keep the person I'm trying to sell it to
mm-hmm.
from knowing that I'm getting it at a discount rate?
Mm-hmm.
Like how?
No, you upfront. Yeah, be upfront with them.
So you're like, yeah, I'm just confused because why wouldn't they just go do that like you were saying?
Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know that this is an option for them. So and essentially they don't have the network in order to do so. So that's essentially the reason why they come to people like us in order to get it done. Because they want to get the headache off of their hands. They're either out drowning in debt, or they recently had a divorce and they don't want to deal with the house. There's a death in the family, and then they took ownership of this house and they don't know what to do with it. Like, there's so many situations that people are just thrown into and they don't know what to do with the property. And that's where I step in with my services to help give them options, So,
have you dealt with wholesale a lot? Has that been like, is that where you started?
That's where I'm at right now. I've only been doing it for a year. I'm actually working on a house at the moment that I'm selling in Hampton. I mean, It's taking me a bit to get this off. I want to finish it before Christmas, but that's where I'm at. I just help provide solutions for people who don't know what to do with their homes.
Okay, so that's wholesale aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that seems to be your main field as far as real estate, but are you knowledgeable about different fields of real estate?
As far as like the agency side, I let other people in my network handle that. So anything that I'm not too knowledgeable about, I won't speak on it. I would pass that off to somebody who knows more about it than me. And that's why it's important to build your network, because you never know when you're going to need somebody. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to agency or a brokerage or anything of that capacity, I would pass it off to my friends,
Okay, so networking is obviously a recurring theme, like we were saying.
Yeah.
You have to network.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know somebody to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So we got wholesale real estate.
Yeah.
We got the DJ platform.
Yes.
All right. What else? You seem like a very interesting person. I feel like there's something you're not bringing to the table. There's something else. There really is.
I mean, there's that. I mean, there's NSEG with the nonprofit. What else is there, man? I don't know. I mean, I do a lot. You feel me? Like I work. I provide for my family where I can, and I'm honestly just building my empire. Like I want to help as many people in the world as I can. And since I've graduated from Georgia State, I've been doing that as much as I can. Like I got 2 degrees. So I got my first one in foreign language with a concentration in business, and my second one in Asian studies with a concentration in international business and a minor in hospitality. So one of my dreams is to open up a restaurant, which is a fusion of Japanese and Caribbean cuisine. And I love Japanese culture, man. Like I'm like more than the average person, love it. I went to Japan, fell in love with it. I know I have to be there. Eventually, I'm planning on moving there within the next year and a half or so.
Are you gonna try to transfer your business model over there?
So yeah, I want to DJ over there, and it's funny because my mentor actually did the program, the JET program, which allows you to teach over there, and I was following in his footsteps and not even knowing it before I even met him. When I told him my plan, he was like, "Oh, I did that," and I was like, "Okay, I know I'm doing the right thing." So
you want to go and stay there?
Yeah, I'm gonna live there for a bit.
Permanently?
Not permanently. For a few years, but my plan is to own a couple properties here in the States before I leave, so that way I have income coming in, and also when I leave Japan, I have something to come back to, so I can get my foothold. Or have a foothold when I come back. So I'll have a couple houses. I can sell one if I need to provide for my business and build that. Or I may be flying back and forth, doing gigs. So, I mean, I'll see what, the world has for me at that point. But the plan is definitely to go to Japan for a bit.
See, it's funny that you bring up Japan.
Yeah.
I wish I could show you right now, but we're in the middle of this podcast. But the lock screen on my phone is a picture of a street in Japan.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
I really want to go. I know what you mean.
It's amazing.
It's so interesting.
It's amazing.
What's it like when you get there? Like all right. Right now, we got off the plane. We walked in the streets. What's going on?
Okay, so when you walk off the plane, I mean, you're in more than likely you're going to be at Narita, which is the main airport in Tokyo. And as soon as you get off, like the air is just different, like it just
clean or dirty?
Oh no, definitely clean.
Oh, more clean.
So yeah, no, more clean. Like
thank God.
Tokyo is like a super clean New York. I would say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's like a really clean New York.
Way to describe that.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a vibe there that you can't. It's hard to describe. It's something that you have to experience, man. And at the time when I went, I only had a year of learning Japanese at the time. I've been studying it for about 4 years now, so I can speak conversationally.
Wow.
Yeah. With my skills at this point, so I can't wait to go back. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just it's just a feeling that you can't get anywhere else,
See, I knew there was something there, man. You speak Japanese?
Yeah, I speak Japanese. You said what?
You're just not going to tell us you speak Japanese,
man?
Yeah,
I speak Japanese. I speak Spanish.
Shit.
I want to learn as many languages in the world before I pass away, Because you can connect with people with their mother tongue. When you connect with people with their mother tongue, it brings a closeness that you can't get anywhere else, And I noticed that when I was young, I used to mimic people a lot. I mimic their accents. I'll mimic what they were saying, and I used to do it really well. And that's what helped get me into that. But as far as what you were saying, you said you wanted some Japanese.
We gotta know what you're gonna say though, so we can try to visualize it.
Let me see. I'll just start off with the basics. So I'll say hello. My name is Kamoni Simon, and it's a pleasure meeting you. So. 私の名前は Kamoni Simon です。よろしくお願いします。
Oh my God. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. We gotta run that back.
Yeah, man.
Too much to handle.
Yeah, I could have conversations.
The tone
man.
changed.
Yeah.
Like if I looked away, I would have thought someone else walked in.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
So run it back a little more slow.
Slowly? Okay. 私の
So is that hello, my name is?
That is when hello. That's watashi. Watashi no. So watashi means me.
Okay.
And then no is like a connector to saying that I am or is. So watashi no namae, which means name. Wa is a connector.
I can't believe this is happening right now. Keep going.
And then Kamoni, which is how you say my name in Japanese, and Simon.
Kamoni. Oh, okay.
Simon. And then des. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
私の名前は Simon です。よろしくお願いします。
You're just saying like, hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I just like, I'm hearing a samurai sword come out. That's
man.
I think language is very interesting.
It
I
is.
speak Arabic, by
Do
the
you?
way.
Yeah.
But not.
You got to teach me, man.
I didn't learn it. I just kind of, grew up
Around it. Yeah.
Yeah, in the family. I'm Lebanese and all. But I'm not as fluid as I'd want to be. I understand everything, but it's the replies that, I butcher.
Yeah.
But Japanese has always been the one, like, if I had to learn a language, like, how you just kind of, like, you know what I mean? You just kind of chop it up with friends.
Yeah.
Oh, if you could learn a language. Mine was always Japanese. Not Chinese, but Japanese.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. You speak Japanese.
Actually, Chinese is on my list, too. That is hard. Chinese and Korean. Like, I'm determined to learn, like, a lot of Asian languages, but Chinese in particular, because when I go out there, I want to be able to, like, conduct some business out there later on.
So is it like a step up?
Yes, because I would, I mean, because they have like different tones. So in Japanese, it's just like you have a higher tone and a lower tone. But in Chinese now, they use like 5 different tones. So yeah.
Aren't they called chongs? 5 different like chong levels?
I have no clue.
I had a teacher explain that to me one time back in elementary school. Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying there's like these major like you can say the same thing, but if you hit it on a different chong,
tone, yeah,
it's
something different.
And I can relate to that. I know, I can understand what that would mean.
Yeah, and then Japanese got a lot of the Japanese got a lot of their characters, what they call kanji, from the Chinese in order to write, because they didn't have their own writing system at the time until they developed their own afterwards. So, it makes it a little bit easier for me to understand Chinese because I can recognize some characters, but it's still very hard. It's just different sounds in general.
Okay, so it's all written in characters still, like Chinese. How do you... This is great that you just said that. How do you feel about the Google Pixel Pods? The ones that are like AirPods, but they translate up to 40 languages. They're coming out with the new update to where they can do 100, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not even aware of that, so
really?
You got to put me in. Yeah, you got to put me on. What's up?
All right, so they're Google Pixel Pods.
Right.
I think that's the name. Or it's Google Pixel Pods. Yeah. You can listen to music on them and do all that.
Yeah.
But they're primarily made for instantly translating language.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess the 40 main languages.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know what a main language would be.
Right.
It's kind of different for everybody.
I would, I guess most popular languages, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So then they're doing the 40, but that's, it's not enough. But
right.
146 different languages are spoken in Atlanta. That's what the statistic is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to up that to 100.
Yeah.
But, like, that's crazy, man. Like, what if you had those and you went to a country like that? Do you think that'd be effective?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I've watched some videos on it where people use translation, but for me, it's kind of it's a barrier, when you're using a translator between people. You have like this little thing that's computing, communicating between the two of you, and I'd much rather like get rid of that and like speak with somebody directly. So that's why I prefer just, speaking to somebody face to face and using a translator. Like, translators are like a last resort for me. I'd much rather just like look up the words real quick and then speak with them and then learn it,
So when you went to Japan, you just you spoke the whole time? Like, you were all on your own? Or was that the like time that you improved the most because you had to use it on your own?
I would say, yeah, well, a little bit of both, because I brought my like Japanese homework with me. So I actually went through what's the name of that company? I was working with a company called World Ventures, and essentially what they do is they have like these little package like vacation deals and stuff. So I went, and there was actually a group of people. It's a very like cool culture that they have going on, and there was a group of people that I was with, but I mean, I was doing stuff on my own a lot of the time. So I had to utilize, I intentionally got myself lost so that way I can, like utilize the language and get to where I need to be. So
is it like Atlanta? Like, if you get lost, like, can you cut a couple streets and you're like, oh, I don't...
Nah, not at all. I mean, the one thing that I appreciate about Tokyo is that they do have like a little bit of English, like here and there, especially on the subway. It'll, say where you're going or what line to take. And, the people are, well, some of the people are friendly. It is like New York, where people are just trying to rush like everywhere, but if you do need help, they will help you out. Like, Japanese are very polite people, so.
I've never been to Japan, so this might sound really not vague,
Mm-hmm.
but like, did you ever like encounter any sort of like mobs or like see any kind of like mob
Mob?
activity?
Mobs?
Yeah, like I've just heard there's a lot of like Japanese
Mhm.
gang organizations that like run in Tokyo and
Nah, yeah,
that's all BS.
yeah, that is BS, man. I mean,
So I got capped on pretty
yeah,
much.
nah, yeah, pretty much. I was
Great.
about, who told you that?
I actually saw it on a program,
Yeah,
so
you gonna be
I
like
don't even know why.
the
I was,
yakuza. I mean, if they're like businessmen, if anything.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, they all wear suits and they have the body tattoos where it's
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah, that's the yakuza. that you're
that's the
talking about.
yakuza.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So-
they get the full body tattoos.
I mean, from what I've been told from my peers who actually like or like exchange students, like they're like businessmen. It's not like real like gang activity, or I'm not sure how organized crime is over there. So as far as what I've been told, it's just like regular business people. You don't even know. So
Yeah, right. You wouldn't even know.
as far especially as a as an outsider, so you wouldn't really see it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they like all go to like the sauna,
Yeah.
strip down. They got like a story on their body.
Yeah,
That's-
man, that artwork is everything. Well, it's surprising because those are spas that you call them. They're called onsen, and some of them you can't even go into some of them because if you have tattoos. Like I don't know what it is about the Japanese and tattoos, but they really don't like tattoos like that. So, yeah,
Really? Because
yeah.
there's a form of tattooing called Japanese style tattooing,
I know
which
that's
is
the
just
thing.
where this with the
Yeah,
stick and poke.
but you can't go to like certain onsens because of that. Because of the the yakuza, it had like a bad stigma along with it. But I mean, things are changing now, so yeah.
Are those spas common? Because I've gone to a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
here where
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? There's the guys and then the women,
Yeah,
and it's just really relaxing.
yeah, it's a
you
culture
know?
thing, man.
Yes.
Definitely.
And
They,
there was a lot of Asian people there.
mm-hmm.
Wow.
You mean like Jeju? The Jeju?
No, not
sauna?
Jeju.
Okay.
I went to Jeju. I didn't go, but like I was in the lobby and like
Yeah.
all I can say is I had someone explaining to me what the inside was like.
Yeah,
And this, you know,
it's dope.
It's dope,
Yeah.
but they made it seem really claustrophobic.
Oh, it's not that bad.
It's
man.
not?
It's really not that bad.
See, he was like, you go in a room, and then from there you go into another room, and then into another room, and then you're in the main meeting room. And I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to be like in chambers.
No. It's not even like that, man. It's pretty dope, and they got like heated floors. So essentially, I mean, let me dispel what you've been told. So you go in. There's the male and female side room. They'll give you your shirt and your shorts. You would and you get a key for your lockers. So you put your shoes in the locker. You go put your stuff in the locker, and then essentially there's the room where the lockers are, and then there's the bathroom around the corner. But the sauna, well, not the sauna, excuse me. There's a sauna. There's a room where it has 3 different what do you call them, jacuzzis and like hot areas, and then there's 2 different saunas, like the dry and the wet one. So in Asian culture, typically everybody get naked, and
Yeah, of
they'll
course.
go into the rooms, and you'll go and just relax in there, and then when you're ready to go into the main room, you put on the clothes that they provide for you, and you go and chill out there. And then there's 7 different rooms that you can use to help detox yourself at that point. And there's a cafeteria, so it's pretty chill, man.
There's cafeteria in the main room.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So they got like food and stuff there. Like it's vibe, man. It's definitely a vibe.
See, I wish I ran into you in the lobby.
Right, yeah. It's considering American culture, not they, like I'm not American. Most Americans, don't like being exposed, like they like their clothes. But I mean, in Asian culture, like everybody has the same thing, so being naked is just a regular thing for them, So
And part being an adult, right?
yeah, So I mean, just for some people, it's just kind of it rubs them different, It's something that they're not accustomed to. So I understand where you're coming from.
Are those saunas like popular? A lot more popular over there?
Yeah.
Because you got that one.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a couple down. Can't even think of the road.
About to say there's more. Let me know, because I was going to Jeju.
It was a small. They're smaller.
I got
They're
you.
way smaller, but it's the same idea where you got the men's, women's, the common area.
Yeah,
But I forgot what the area was called. It's
yeah. You got to text me and let me know, man.
yeah. I don't want to say Peachtree because
Okay.
that's a very broad
Yeah.
area, but I think it's somewhere in that area. I can't remember.
Okay,
Wow. So what initially intrigued you about Japanese culture?
man. I mean, of course, like anime. Everybody got put on through Toonami, watching like Dragon Ball Z or man, what else? Rurouni Kenshin. So I was always interested in that, and then Naruto is what kind of like did it for me in middle school, and then somebody put me on into manga. And I'm like, what is manga? And it was like Japanese cartoons. And then ever since then, I was like, Jesus, yo, this is amazing, you know? So I started watching. I was watching sub at first, and I mean, no, I was watching dubbed at first, excuse me. And then I started watching like sub and then hearing the like Japanese, and I'm like, this is really cool, you know? So like most millennials nowadays, you know, I just like dove really hard into the culture. And then when I started learning about Japanese culture, that kind of like superseded just, you know, the learning about the anime and whatnot, because that stuff is cool, but their culture is much deeper than that, you know, and that's what intrigued me the most, you know. So the food that they eat, the style of clothes that they wear, you know, just, you know, the fashion, the music, the instruments, it was all so captivating, you know. So once I took to it, I just kind of ran with it. So yeah,
you almost found like a piece of you in there,
yeah,
that you had to go dig out.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and the thing is, you're always constantly learning about yourself as you go through, you know, this journey called life. So, you know, just being open to it and what's to come out of it it helps in the long run. I actually helped my music a lot too, because I was producing music utilizing a lot of those sounds. I was mixing like Japanese instruments with like trap and hip hop sounds. It never seen the light of day. I might release it one of these days, but you know, we'll see.
Hey, man, we want to hear it.
Yeah, man. I'll see.
The only Japanese rap song I heard was one like, I think I was a freshman in high school, and it starts off, the guy's like Ichima, yeah.
Ichima. So that was that's Keith Ape. So Keith Ape is Keith Ape is Korean actually, but one of the it's all good. It's all good, but he actually had a Japanese rapper in there too. I forgot his name, but yeah, there's Japanese in there too.
Did you hear that we have a Christmas present on the way from North Korea?
Really? We do?
Yeah, we have a Christmas gift.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah,
we got a Christmas gift.
Really?
I don't know what the hell that could be, but yeah. So we didn't mention that.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way that the state of things are in the world, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that an area you want to go into, Korea?
Korea? Oh yeah, no, I definitely want to go to Korea. I want to go to Seoul and see what it's like over there, because you know the Korean culture is just something totally different too. So. I gotta like just make my way, you know. I want to do like a little bit. I want to do like an Asian tour, you know, go to Japan, go to Korea, work my way up to China, do certain things in China and just like Mongolia. Like I want to experience the world.
And you're mainly drawn to the Asian culture. Well,
like, no, I mean, I love all cultures, you know, but I studied the Asian culture heavily. So I want to start with that and then start making my way over to other places like Central Europe and like Turkey, or you know, the different stands, and you know, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan.
The different stands.
The different stands.
Sound like a clique.
No, I mean, it's not
the stands. What's up?
Listen, man, I had a guy from Turkey refer to them as that. You know, the different stands. The different stands.
I'm gonna use that one, man. Yeah, something's going on with the stands.
The stands, yeah. You know, so it's cool, and then you know, do a tour in Europe, of course, and in Africa, and just I got to see the world. And then my parents, like I said, they're Caribbean, so of course I got to, you know, hit the Caribbean spots. And then it's kind of weird. So my parents are from Guyana, which is actually the north part of South America, but we have really good relationships with all the Caribbean nations, so we're considered Caribbean, quote unquote, and we're one of only 3 English speaking countries in South America. But yeah, man, I gotta do a tour of South America also. Like I love Brazilians too, like Portuguese. They're Portuguese. The Brazilians are like awesome. I gotta learn Portuguese too. But yeah, man.
You know what I'm getting from the conversation we've been having, what I'm getting from the energy that I get from you.
Yeah, you're
really passionate about all the things you do, and you have your path.
Yeah.
You know what you want to do. There's not I might try this. You're like, no, I want to go explore these countries in this order. I want to do it specifically by transferring this business over there to have a foot back in.
Yep.
And for the people that are watching right now that are still trying to get that footing, what would you say? I like to bring this up a lot in the podcast, just because I feel like that's the thing that someone can leave with is what is the mindset that it takes for someone to achieve that level of, you could say happiness, but almost like certainty within their identity of what they want to pursue. Like at what point in time were you just like, okay, like I know what I want to do, and obviously that wasn't one point in time,
right?
But what would you say would be like the mindset that a person who's looking for their groove to have, that you've had, that I've had, that you know what I mean? Like, what would you advise to somebody who they want to dip their feet in a couple different puddles, but they don't know which one to go with? They don't even know how to get up and pursue it immediately.
I got you. So, I mean, for me, man, the one thing that I constantly like to tell people is to follow your North Star, whatever that may be. And what I mean by that is follow the thing that makes you the most happy and that comes not fluently, but that comes naturally to you. So whatever you did naturally as a kid that you took to, that you really enjoyed, follow that. Use that as your guiding light in order to find or explore what it is that you want to do in life, So for me, music came naturally because when I was 4, I got up on a table at a family event and I just like sang "I Believe I Can Fly" as loud as I can,
right,
and in front of everybody.
That now.
Nah. It was great, man. Like I loved it, but that's when I knew that I love music. Like I would be jamming out with my mom in the car, singing everything, mimicking the words, even if it was in Spanish. Just trying to take to it as much as I can. Because I didn't even give my history. I was born in Brooklyn. New York is the melting pot of all cultures in the world.
So that's why you reference New York a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Brooklyn. I spent 7 years there, and then I moved to Miami in my middle school years and I spent 7 years there, and I was like back and forth. And I moved to Atlanta in 2009, and I've been here ever since. But, just going up and down the East Coast just allowed me to see a lot of different cultures and a lot of different people, and it helped open my eyes up to what it's out in the world, So I'm forever grateful for that. And what was I talking about again? What was the question?
Hey, man. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of Brooklyn, Miami, and Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
which one do you feel like has brought you the most, like, not influence, but gave you the most direction? Because you got to sample around, man. Miami, Brooklyn, Atlanta.
I know. I hit all the
best
major
parts
cities.
of the East Coast,
right? And I haven't been out west yet, which is the crazy part. So, I mean, as far as for me right now, man, I really built myself up here in Atlanta. So Brooklyn and Miami gave me my foothold as far as understanding, international culture. Learning how to mingle with people, how to maneuver through different crowds, and I was able to put that at work here in Atlanta, So as far as the best though, I don't know, man. It's hard. Like every time somebody try to make me choose, it's hard,
So you've gotten this before?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not my first time I've ran into this question. So I don't know. I love all of them equally. Like it's like children. You can't pick a favorite, and if you do, you're messing up.
Right. I wouldn't know.
Right.
I hope I don't know for a very long time. So far, I've been picking myself. It's been working great.
There you go.
What was Miami like?
Miami?
Did you remember much, or were you?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, cause I was there for my middle school and my freshman year of high school, and I mean, I got to experience a lot, man. Like just. I mean, the humidity, the atmosphere is just different, being in the warmth, close to the beach, the gators, the snakes, the fruit, it's something that you can't get anywhere else,
You guys were the capital around that time, actually.
Yeah.
You guys were the capital of the Oxycontin distribution. Believe it or not.
Really?
I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah. No, I don't know about the underworld like that, but man, I enjoyed the food, I enjoyed the people, and I was learning about women at the time, so I enjoyed that too.
it was a big issue. I saw a documentary about
Really?
it, and it I don't know what it was, but there was some law in Florida about how they didn't have to keep track of you when you okay, so I go to you as a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm freak out about whatever.
Yeah.
You write me a script. I go down the street. I go to him.
Yeah.
Give him the same story. He writes me a script. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, wow. It wasn't regulated.
There was no log.
Wow.
They're like, oh, I just went to you 10 minutes ago or a month ago.
Right.
So people were running down there, picking up a couple 100,000 of pills, driving them across the country. Yeah. They had to shut it down.
Damn, I didn't know that. See, you put me on.
See, a lot of people don't know that Miami is built off of
drug money. Yeah, that I do know.
Medicare fraud, drug money. It's one of those cities that I don't know. Miami's interesting.
Yeah, no, it
Miami's a
is.
very
Yeah, it has a
interesting
very,
place.
very different, interesting history to say the least, and what it was built off of. But I mean, besides that, man, just like the positive nature side of it, it's really nice. I like it out there, and it's cool. Vacation spot too. So
That's
yeah,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
See, the thing about Miami is
Mhm.
I've never been, but I've been around it. Like I've never been to the heart of Miami.
Okay.
Is what I'll say.
I
But
got you.
I've been very close.
Yeah.
And there's something that like a lot of the areas around Miami kind of hate on Miami for some weird reason. And I don't know. I've never been, so I don't really know what the vibe's like.
Yeah.
But I know that you know what you have a time.
Yeah.
You have a very interesting time.
Yeah.
So did you get any of that?
No,
or were you just too young?
So I got a little bit of it because some people are just like kind of territorial. I don't know why, but I feel like that's everywhere you go. In Brooklyn, there's like certain parts of Brooklyn. It's like, okay, this is Flatbush, this is Bed-Stuy, this is Brownsville. Some people don't mess with people from over here, and it was dumb at the time, but I feel like there's a certain degree of that everywhere you go. So, I got a little bit of it. There was some certain people from like South Miami that didn't mess with people from Hialeah and whatnot. So, again, I wasn't old enough to experience like a lot of that, but I heard people like talk about it and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, look, we covered the music.
Yes.
We covered the real estate.
Indeed.
We learned about Japanese. We've touched a lot of things, but the main thing is, man, that the people who are watching this, the people that are coming here, they support you, right? And they back you.
Yeah.
So if you just want to take a moment, shout out all your pages, shout out any way that people can follow you, hire you as a DJ, and just be in touch with your work and what you're doing.
I got you. All right, guys. So, again, I go by Kamoni. Well, my name is Kamoni Simon. I go by DJ Sai. You can follow me on all of my platforms at I am DJ Sai. That's IAM DJ PSI on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook. What else is there? Twitter. Everything. Just follow me. DM me, or matter of fact, here, I'll even give out my number, 678-358-5215. Just shoot me a text and I can get you a good deal on something, man. Like, I'm not afraid to put myself out there in the world, and
you can't be.
Yeah, no, and everybody has a story, and whoever it takes to it or finds inspiration out of it, I love giving myself to people like that so that way I can help inspire others, So, yeah, I think that's just the highest form of giving to the world, inspiring. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate you, man.
Really,
For
man.
real.
I feel like I've been educated and once again inspired. What this is all about. This is a time shared live. People come here to be re-inspired every single day by having people like yourself on.
Oh, yeah.
So once again, I just want to thank you, man. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate you
It will
having
not
me.
be the last time, however, because we're going to have you back on.
Oh, yeah,
you know
definitely.
What I mean? See the people that come to watch this channel, we like to refer to ourselves as intellectual collaborators.
Indeed.
Right? So we're going to have to collaborate intellectually later, man.
I got you.
For right now, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
thank you
dope,
so much.
Man. Yeah,
I'm Charbel
it.
Milan.
Kamoni Simon, DJ Sai.
This has been a time shared. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.